We're continuing off the previous video where we made a web-based application for our Spring Boot. Now we are going to be taking like user input. We're passing client data into our program here. And this is all based off a 4-hour video that is in the description below the like button. Not my video, but a very helpful one. This is just what I've taken from that video. So it's pretty helpful and I'm just re-going over it. So we need to create a web application to pass client data. We can pass a name, and so passing a name would be like, let's just go to the local host 883/course, and if we want to pass in something, we're going to do like a question mark. We can do whatever variable that we're storing this in. We're just going to do like CNAME for customer name. We're going to set it equal to something, and we'll just use Brandon. So CNAME is equal to Brandon. We can press enter, and this is the code that's going to come up. However, we actually have to work that because if I terminate and run this again, with it running this time without the proper code in, it is not going to run like that. It's just going to say this, which is what we have in our course.jsp file, which is what we had in the last video. That's in the playlist, link below the like button. So to actually take this in right here, what we're going to have to do is a few different things to get this to work. So I should have commented this out last time and actually taken that out because we're returning here. We're not printing anything. We don't need that sysout statement. So what we're going to do for this is we need to add an HTTP parameter, and it's a server request. So this right here is going to be sent to our server. So to do this, we are going to do a HTTP servlet request, and then it's going to be type rec, which is a object. And then we can hover over and import this. Once this is imported, it's going to work, and we can take this out since we don't need the response body. That was also part of the last video, but we don't need that here. So we're going to take our client's request inside of here. With this, we are passing the name to our servlet. We are passing the name Brandon, which is what we typed in there. You can also type in whatever you want. So we're passing it in, and then we're fetching it with this right here. And it's going to be in the object with our rec. So we want to store this. Storing this, we can come down here and we're just going to store it in a string because the name Brandon is a type string, right? So this is what we typed in, and we can just paste it right here for reference. So we have this Brandon right here. It's going to be stored in a string. We'll call it CNAME to stay consistent. So string CNAME is equal to, we're going to use our object rec.getParameters. So we are going to get the parameters for this, and then we have our string name in here. Now what we're going to want to pass in is our CNAME. So we're passing in the course name or the client name inside of here. Through this, we have to use double quotes because it's a string, and so that's just how we would run this. It's going to be stored inside of here now for our CNAME. Now we can do whatever we want with this. We could print this wherever we want. So if we come down here and we do like a sysout statement, we can do my name, and we'll have to do this in here in quotes. This is just like a normal Java program. My name is, and then we can do just like this. We can do a colon, space, and then CNAME. If we run this, so terminate and running this, it's gonna reload our application. Once that reloads, we can come down here, refresh our page. We can see that nothing happens, but in our console it says my name is Brandon. That's just because this is outputting to our console right here, and it's not actually outputting to the web page. So how do we fix this? The reason why it's not working is because this is not sent back to our HTTP, and so it's only printing. To remedy this, what we're going to do is we are going to do an HTTP sesh equal to rec.getSesh. So we have this right here. We can hover over and import it. This is what we're using. This is just our name, and then inside of it we are storing our rec, which is right here, and then we're getting this session right here that we're passing in. So after our system.out.println, we can have this, and then we are going to have a sesh.setAttribute. So instead of actually printing it, we're going to just put CNAME inside of it. So sesh.setAttribute, we're going to want our CNAME and then the CNAME inside of both of these. So instead of sesh, we're going to have this as CNAME as well. But since this is a Spring file, we need to have double quotes around here. If we look at this again, we have our set attribute. We're passing in the string name and then the object value. So the name of our string, this is the name of it, has to be the CNAME like this in quotes, and then the object value is just going to be CNAME. So that is going to be how we set that attribute. Now we need to pass this right here to our course.jsp. Then we can also comment this sysout.println. We don't need it. We just need this HTTP sesh, and then it's going to set the attribute. So we can save this, go into here, and then inside of here we can just do a little dash, and then we can do a $sign for system command, because we don't want to print this out. We don't want to print these brackets right here out. We want to print out what's inside of them. And inside we're going to pass our CNAME, and we can just finish it off like this. So we're passing our CNAME, which is what it's going to get from here, and then it stores it in our HTTP sesh for it to use, and then we have our course.jsp. It's getting called here. It's going to be returned. So this happens, and then we're returning our course.jsp. So it's going to go in here, and it's going to get our course name. So we can terminate and rerun this. We can see that our program is going to basically reset, and then we can bring down our web application right here. We can reload it, and then we can say that we have this dash branded in here, which is what we wanted, because if we look at our CNAME, it's passing in what was stored in our HTTP servlet request. That all happens here, and what we pass in was Brandon. Now let's say we pass in something else, like we'll pass in Mike. If we refresh this, it's not gonna change anything until we relaunch this application. So we can terminate and relaunch it. We can reload it, and nothing's gonna happen until this finishes executing. So we can finish this, and oh, it still says Brandon, because if we refresh it, it's going to be Mike like this. So it should say Mike and then press enter. And I don't think we actually have to terminate the application, so we can try like Sarah, press enter, and we can see we actually don't need to terminate the application to put a different name in. So that's pretty cool. We just need to put something else in, and as long as the server is running, it's going to be running this, and we can continuously have this information updated. And that's how we create a web application process to pass client data. Next, we're going to look at the model view and object example that's in that long video, but just done here.